What's going on, YouTube? I haven't made a video in a while, so I figured I'd make a video with my girl Rain. So let's do it.
What's good, what's good YouTube? It's your girl Rain. This video is going to be a myth buster video. We are going to address some common misconceptions about locks.
First myth is...
One of the common misconceptions, I think one of the biggest misconceptions, is that you can't wash your hair, or we don't wash our hair, which is so far from the truth. I know that there are some people who don't wash their hair, and that's whether it's relaxed or natural, braided, locked, or gel curl, afro, it won't matter. I know there are some that don't wash their hair, and maybe that's where that comes from, but you can't group or put a whole group of people into a category just because of one or two people who do that. If you have good hygiene, then you have good hygiene. You're gonna wash your hair because it's still hair. Just because it's locked does not mean anything is still hair.
I just want to say most dreadlocks are not high maintenance. If someone says that they are, then it's probably because that person is high maintenance. I don't think having to do your hair more than once or twice a month is high maintenance. You may have to do it it may take you 2 hours to do it, but you're only doing it once or twice a month. I think that's a pretty good trade-off versus relaxers and some other hairstyles. But I mean, it really just comes down to that person and whether dreadlocks can fit into their lifestyle and their professional environment, or whatever may be a reason why someone may or may not choose to have locks. They're not for everybody, and like I said, it's just different. And your ultimate goal is to have healthy hair, whether you have locks or relaxers or just natural. You want your hair to be clean and shiny, and just you want it to grow. So I don't see how it's any different from any other hair. But they're not any more higher maintenance than anything else. I think it's less, personally, in my opinion.
Some people feel like you have to have nappy hair for your hair to lock. My hair is a finer grade. It's not really coarse. So it did take longer than someone who has a coarser texture hair. It did take longer for my hair to lock. It actually probably took maybe 8 to 9 months. I have a homegirl, I think she had parts of her hair that she had been locking for maybe a year, and her hair was not fully locked. But just because you don't have that really coarse hair does not mean you cannot lock your hair, and it does not mean that your locks won't look good. Cause honey, I feel like, my locks I think my locks are the bomb.com.
Okay, so my next myth I want to talk about is the myth that only Rastafarians should have dreadlocks. Dreadlocks are like any other hairstyle. Anybody can have them, whether you have them for religious reasons or because you have them just because you think they look good. That doesn't mean you are one denomination or another, or a different religious background. For example, I'm Baptist and I have dreadlocks. So yeah, it's just like any other hairstyle. You can be who you want to be, believe what you want to believe.
I've heard somebody said, and I ain't calling no names, but somebody told me that when they started their locking process, somebody told them that using honey would make your hair lock faster. Please, people, don't do that. Don't do that. Honey, peanut butter. I personally don't like the beeswax. I don't like the wax, any kind of wax or really thick products. That's just me. But please, honey, really, honey. You can barely get honey off of your counter, off your fingers, or wherever. Why would you want to put that in your hair? And a lock, much less. Like it's like really, it's in there. It's in there. That's crazy. Why would you do that? Why would you do that to your hair? Just because somebody tells you something, please don't believe that. Don't do that. Don't put honey in your hair, people. Don't put peanut butter. I read somewhere somebody was putting mayonnaise in your hair, and then you won't go walk out in the sun and it's 110 degrees outside. Really? That's why your hair stink. Right there. The honey and the peanut butter and the mayonnaise that you done got mixed up in your scalp. I'm dead. Yeah, I'm dead. So anyway, with that, don't do that. The locking process does take patience. A lot of people will say, oh, do this and it'll make it lock faster. If you do that, it'll make it lock faster. I mean, if you're looking for fast locks, just go get you some super glue. Go to the store, go to Walmart, Kmart, Target, wherever you're gonna go to the school supply, get you some Elmer's glue and paste or whatever you gotta put in there. Put you some silly putty in there, put you some spackle, put some paint, put whatever you want to put in your hair that's gonna make it bond together. If you just want it fast. Now if you want it fast, then you gonna do that garbage. But if you want it done right, then you'll allow the hair to lock itself, because it will do that. You still want healthy hair. The hair will lock itself. You don't need any assistance. You don't need any product, actually. But for those that want that really maintenance or that whatever look, then of course you know how we do. But you don't really need any product, and you surely don't need honey and peanut butter to make your hair lock.
Just because a person has dreadlocks does not mean that they smoke weed. Just because someone does not have dreadlocks doesn't necessarily mean that they do not smoke weed. In my opinion, there are more people who do not have dreadlocks that smoke weed than people that do have dreadlocks that smoke weed. Am I making sense? Like, there's no correlation. Just because you have dreadlocks doesn't mean that you necessarily smoke weed or weed head. There's no connection between the hairstyle and the drug usage. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. It just was made popular by Bob Marley, I suppose. But yeah, it's just a myth. It's not true. So yeah. That's all I got to say about that one.
You don't have to cut your hair. You can actually take them down if you have that kind of patience, if you got that kind of time in your life to actually go through each lock and pick it out. You can actually take them down. You can. Now personally, I would not do that. If I didn't want my locks anymore, I won't shave I don't have to shave my hairball. You can just cut it at the new growth or whatever, and I'll still have maybe like 2 or 3 inches of hair. So I rock a fro or whatever I chose to do with it. But you don't actually have to cut your hair off for if you don't want the locks anymore. It takes a lot of time and patience for you to get them down if you chose to actually take your hair down, take your lock down, but you can do it. There are actually plenty of videos on YouTube of people doing it. So
some people say that dreadlocks damage your scalp. Now, I have no idea where this myth comes from or why anyone would ever say that, purely because dreadlocks typically start about an inch away from your scalp, meaning your hair is not locked. at the scalp. It doesn't start locking till an inch away. So how does your scalp even know that you have dreadlocks? It's not even that close to your scalp. And you're not putting any chemicals on it. You're not pulling on it. You're not doing anything to it. So really, having dreadlocks is healthy for your scalp. Um, yeah, you're not putting any unnecessary stress on it. Yeah, that's why it's a myth, because it's not true. Actually, I believe my scalp is way healthier now that I have locks than when I didn't before. So, yep.
I just want to say that just because you see someone with locks does not mean that they got them the proper way. That does not mean that they're healthy. That does not mean that they know what they're doing and can recommend or try to assist you in starting your locking process. You cannot go up to just anybody or one person and take what they said that they did and use it in your own. Like, you can't do that. It doesn't work that way. Everyone has different hair texture. Everyone's locks are going to be different. Just because I started mine one way does not mean it's going to work for you. Just because how you started yours is not going to work for me. So you have to really, really take the time out and research and talk to more than one person, more than two people. Talk to 10, 20 different people and ask them different questions and compare and find what works for you. But please just don't take every single thing that someone says as fact, because that'll have your hair on the floor. And that's my real rap take on it. Hate it or love it. Take it or leave it.
Thank you, Rain, for that public service announcement. Yeah, I think that's very beneficial to a lot of future dreadhead wannabes. If anybody wants to watch more of Rain's videos and subscribe to her channel, the name of her channel is Jelly Rain, and I'll put the link in the description bar below. And I hope this video was beneficial. And if you have any other questions, you can feel free to hit me or Rain up. But until the next time, thank you for watching. All right.